ConnecTogether creates opportunities for people living with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. Check out some of the programs we offer through our online learning platform, ConnecTogether, including our Service Mondays, where we highlight a local organization or initiative. Wednesday Chair Yoga with Bobbie Seale-Cobiskey. Thursday Adapted Fitness with Megan Williamson. Friday Rotating Dance Classes hosted by Janice Lawrence and Joanne Cuff. And other initiatives, including presentations by the Disabled Independent Gardeners Association's Growable program and our Perspective series. Check out our updated programs calendar on our website, connectra.org, or find us on Facebook at ConnecTogether Society.
Yep, I'm on my thing.
Okay, Bobbie.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
So, say hello to everyone, everybody, near and far, and those of you who are maybe not, you may well be taking in the recording later, which is available in such a lovely gift from ConnecTogether, the Disability Foundation, and so on. One of the lovely gifts of or silver lining, I suppose, of taking a class online. The recordings are there and you can view it anytime you'd like. And so I'm just going to come into my iPad a little closer so that I can put the class on gallery view. And so hopefully the class isn't about me. So a few folks that I can see, and those of you who choose to turn your video off, I'm totally cool with that. I can feel your presence, sense your presence anyway. So we're connected on multiple levels, and I'm just thrilled that you're here today, sharing this amazing gift of yoga. So India's gift to the West, albeit adapted. And of course, this is a adapted yoga practice. So everything we do today will do seated in the chair. And I never seem to be amazed on just how profound a practice an adapted seated yoga practice can be. And so of course we always start with a centering practice. And so I'd like to invite you to begin by finding a comfortable sitting position. So find a space where you feel that you can sit effortlessly upright. And if you choose to recline when you're taking a class, that's totally fine too. As long as you're feeling comfortable. And so an invitation to take your hands to your heart center. So it might be palms open or palms together. If this placement of your hands makes you lose your balance, choose another placement for your hands. We never forfeit balance to come into a pose or movement. And then it's ready, if you'd like, and it's available to you, lift your heart to your hands, bow your head to your heart. And an invitation to take a moment to allow yourself to consciously enter into the present. So setting aside whatever concerns, worries you may have had before the yoga practice for the duration, knowing that you can come back to that after class. And then as ready, relax your arms down by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. And an invitation to shake your hands. And vigorously, if that doesn't create any discomfort or pain. And so an invitation to explore, maybe reaching your arms up to the sky. And so there might be some contraindications for reaching up a little higher. So I'm really focused on hands today. And so hands are connected not only to our heart, but to our mind. And so if it feels okay to reach up, shaking your hands vigorously, go for it. Alternatively, it might feel better for you if you have circulations challenges in your hands. You might want to keep your arms a little lower. And so reaching up to your place. And so perhaps saying good morning or good day to our ancestors. And then just like you're shaking water off your hands, an invitation to let your arms slow down by your side. And then one more time, if you'd like, and it's available to you, reaching your arms up. So again, the option is keeping your arms lower if you have circulation stuff going on in your hands, or maybe reaching up higher. So reach up as high as feels comfortable for you. And then again, just like you're shaking water off your hands, or it might be, you can imagine leaves kind of scattering or blowing in the wind. Woohoo, it's yoga time. My favorite time. My husband would say, yoga, yoga, yoga. So an invitation to repose now. So I'd like to invite you, if possible, to find a space where you are supporting your own spine. Come away from the back of the chair enough so that you feel you're sitting forward on your sits bones. If you would like or need the back of the chair for support, I know some of you are wheelchair users, you have amazing chairs, so the preference might be to sit back in your chair, or little yoga prop. Some of us are reticent to use them, but they're amazing. They facilitate us being able to come into the poses and movements in a way that is supportive, I say. So a rolled yoga mat might feel amazing along your spine. And so you tuck it behind you and sit back and voila. So the idea is to be sitting as upright as possible. And so that may work for you at the beginning of the class. Alternatively, at the end of the class, when we practice. Kim, is there, Kasa, I'm not sure with the chat. Is that something you share with me, or should I lean into the iPad and read? I don't know what's less.
Sorry, I thought I did a direct message to Marnie. It's just that I noticed there's two Marnie S's, and there were 3 Marnie S's until I changed mine.
Okay. So I guess I'm pants on fire. I'll just, yeah, I'll connect with you at the end of the class. We'll have a conversation if you have any feedback, conversation, so on. In other words, otherwise, you're on your own. So I can keep the class going. Marnie, do you have a question live? You're good? Okay. So back to the yoga mat, you may. So we're going to actually move through all the major joints, helping to relieve that stiffness, hopefully helping to minimize pain. And so using all the various yoga toys at my disposal. And so at the end of the practice, there's always a relaxation and meditation. So this might be something you'd like to place along your spine, or you could even put it on your lap. And so a bit of weight on our thighs can be calming. So just a few of the options. And so roll your shoulders back and down. Relax your arms by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. Soften your gaze. So maybe your gaze moves downward. If that feels okay. So maybe 3 or 4 feet in front of you. That can be calming for our nervous system. And so ground down through your sits bones. Notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Our Buddha belly is soft. The spine is long. Roll your shoulders back and down. Lift up through the crown of your head. Imagine you have a thread on top of your head and it's pulling you up to the sky. Our chin is level with the floor, tucked in slightly. Allow your facial muscles to soften and release. Our attention moves inward. Notice your alignment, knees, ankles, hips, shoulders stacked over hips. And then when you're ready, without changing anything, bring your awareness to your breath. So our old friend, our breath. So notice, is your breath long? Is it smooth? Or is your breath jagged? So breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Or maybe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Or if it feels better for you, if you're congested, maybe breathing in and out through your mouth. So breathe in whatever way you can. And so our breath is one of our main teachers. It will let you know if you're into a pose too deep or moving too quickly. And so of all the practices that this lovely yoga offers us, the most important, from my perspective, next to the community of like-minded, like-hearted people that it brings together, is a pranayama. So the breath awareness. And then when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to add a gentle movement to your breathing technique, breath awareness. And so this gentle movement can be calming for the nervous system as well. And so move in a way that if I was to look at you, I might not even notice that you're moving. And so our breath is long and smooth and soft as we breathe in and as we breathe out. And just for a few more breaths, or as long as feels comfortable, an invitation to keep this simple breathing technique flowing. It's challenging to focus on the breath, an invitation to explore bringing your awareness to the sounds around you. Sound is always in the present moment. I can hear the sound of a bird song off in the distance. I can hear the leaves in the trees, from a gentle breeze. And maybe noticing the gentle tone of my voice, and in a loving way, bring your awareness back to your breath. So just for a few more breaths, or as long as feels comfortable, an invitation to keep this simple breathing technique flowing. As ready, drop your chin towards your chest. Gradually blinking your eyes open. And so we are falling awake, not asleep. So a friend of mine that takes the classes often gets a little bit triggered with falling awake, not asleep. So his word would be becoming awakened. So fill in whatever words work for you. And yeah, so this is your yoga practice. And so it's not one size fits all. So we don't all wear the same pair of shoes. So I invite you to know that you are the world-class expert on your own body. And so, hey, I see people tuning in and they're just, I don't know, little kid in me is just so happy that we're here together today. And so arms by your side, palms face up, shake your hands vigorously. So if you have circulation stuff going on, maybe heart related, you might want to explore keeping your arms down lower. So gravity will pull some energy flow into your hands. So you might find your hands are cold. Alternatively, if it feels comfortable, reaching your arms up higher. So reaching up as high as feels comfortable for you. And let's get a little bum dance in there too. So a little more vigorous. Woohoo. We're not just our hands, our arms. Last time I checked, we all have bums too. And it's a little bum dance. Move in your own time and rhythm. All right. So speaking of rhythm, something to keep in mind, the four sensations, hopefully we're tuning in to sensations, connecting with our breath, that I'd like for you to experience, that I'd love for you to experience, is a sensation of grounding, balance, rhythm, and expansion. So we'll begin with a warm up. And so when you're ready, I'd like you to repose. Make sure your feet are placed evenly on the floor, on your footrest, foot plate. Yeah, Buddha belly is soft, spine is long. Roll your shoulders back and down. Lift up through the crown of your head. Imagine that thread on top of your head pulling you up to the sky. Our chin is level with the floor, tucked in slightly. So if it's helpful, you can take 2 fingers, place them on your chin, and imagine a turtle. And then when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to tap your fingers. And then how about air piano? And then how about a little circle our wrists in one direction, circle in the opposite direction. So falling away, not asleep. So these gentle movements, when we link our breath with our movements, magical things. And now I'd like you to stretch, create space between your fingers. And soft rest, stretch, soft rest, and stretch, soft rest. And now if you'd like, so you can do both hands or one alternating, up to you, of course. And so might explore bringing your fingertips to press into your thumbs. So my hands are up so that you can see me. It might feel better to have your hands resting on your thighs, so you choose. So index, middle, ring, pinky. So they might touch, they might not, press into the thumbs. So as long, it doesn't matter, as long as we're moving in that direction, you're engaging all the little muscles in your hands. And so let's add a little children's rhyme to it if you'd like. And the words are: peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Silent, or in a whisper now. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with. Silently, keeping the movements going, and the mantra, if you will, or children's tune. And then reaching up to the sky, or keeping your arms lower, give your hands a shake. And then just like you're shaking water off your hands, let your arms slow down by your side. So a gentle reminder during the class today not to resist any urges. And so if you need to leave the space, the class for any reason, of course, please do feel free to come back or not. If you feel dizziness or nausea during the practice, please come out of the pose or the movement. So dizziness, particularly when we're doing the neck movements, might be something going on that you need to get checked out. Pain, a lot of research has been done in regards to pain. And of course, I teach the classes with pain management, pain care in mind. And so I'd like to invite you to explore maybe to noticing if what the pain that you're feeling is a muscle soreness, right? In yoga, sometimes we get into places we've forgotten we have places, and that includes all of us. So, or is it a joint pain? So if it's joint pain, that's a no-fly zone. And so you'll come out of the pose or the movement, and I want you to think of the poses and the movements as a buffet, and we can find an alternative. Choose whatever is a good fit for you or looks great. So I'm not very articulate, so I'm going to shut up. So let's shake again. So don't take my word for it. You investigate, notice how you feel. So moving on, let's come into gentle movement to release the tension in our neck and shoulders. So we'll begin by bringing our chin gently towards our chest. And then look up. So maybe your eyes meet where the ceiling meets the wall. So careful not to throw your head back. You want to keep your head in line with your spine. And then gently bring your chin towards your chest. Head moves up. And so in your own time and rhythm, keeping this gentle movement flowing. And so the moment we begin these gentle movements with our neck, whether it's visualizing or actually doing the movement, it is a cue for our nervous system to become more balanced. So is your belly soft? Is your breath quiet? And then as ready, bring your head back to neutral. And then turn your gaze looking just past your shoulder. Pause. And then I'd like to invite you to visualize moving your chin up and down slightly. So imagination is powerful. Move your head back through center. Turn your gaze, looking just past your shoulder. Pause. Visualize moving your chin up and down slightly. As ready, bring your head back to neutral. Take a moment and then bring your ear towards your shoulder and then move from side to side. So I'd like to invite you to notice how it feels to tuck your chin in slightly. It might be when you move from side to side, it feels good to place your hand on the back of your head. So up to you, or not the back of your head, but the side. And then as ready, bring your head back to neutral. And then turn a soft gaze again, looking past your shoulder. This time I'd like you to reach across if possible. So if you have a yoga buddy, you might be working with your yoga buddy. I'm going to take my scarf off. And I want you to tuck into your sweater, shirt, whatever you're wearing today. So hopefully you're comfortable. Feel around. So really dig around there and see if you can notice kind of a lump or a bump or a place where you feel you're holding stress. And then put pressure there, hold the pressure. And as you do, gently turn your head from side to side. And so belly is soft, breath is quiet. So what we're doing here is inviting that big muscle to soften and release. So trapezius muscle. And then switch sides. So you can turn your head a little if you'd like, dig around, find that lump or bump, and then moving your head gently from side to side. Inviting that big muscle to soften and release. And then release and give your hands a little shake. All right, so wiggly fidgets. Buddha belly is soft. Yeah, wiggly fidgets. And so I had a teacher who used to put sandbags on some of the students when I was doing the teacher training. And hard to believe, I don't know how many years ago it was now, but several, and just to keep some people kind of grounded. So if you feel like a little bit of weight helps to ground, go for it. It might be a sandbag or a pillow that's a little heavier, whatever it is. And so that said, arms by your sides, spiral your palms open, palms down. So you're rotating your thumb down towards the earth and rotate up. Maybe notice which feels better for you. You can do one hand or one arm at a time if you'd like. And then maybe reaching up a little higher. So you're broad through the collarbones, extending beyond your wrist, beyond your fingertips. And come on out anytime you'd like, or on my count, or not my count, but my cue. And then as ready, float your arms down. Shake out. So arm by your side, spiral your palm open. So soft bending your elbow, nothing rigid. Take your fingertips up to your shoulder, wherever you can reach comfortably, and then draw circles with your elbow point. So motion is notion. I know I'm singing to the choir. We need to keep moving. And then reverse the direction. So it might be micro movements, visualizing the movement. Maybe you have a yoga buddy that's helping with the movements, guiding, but not doing the work for you. And release. So let's other side, arm by your side, spiral your palm open. Take your hand to your shoulder, wherever you can reach comfortably, and draw circles with your elbow point. So is your belly soft? Is your breath quiet? And reverse. Sometimes when we're working hard, we tend to hold on to our breath. So that's an indication that it'd be a good idea to back off a little. Notice how that feels, or come out of the pose or the movement altogether. And you might explore coming back into it a little more gently or slowly. And so relax your arms by your side, a little shake out again. And so this time we'll take both hands up to our shoulders. And an invitation, I want you to imagine that you're drawing circles on the screen in front of you with your elbow points. And so again, if you're wanting to do one arm, both arms. So it's not about forcing one limb to do what the other is doing. We just want them talking to each other. So it might feel better to keep your elbows a little lower. I feel good with mine just about this height. And then float your arms down. Woo. So notice how you feel. If you'd like, rest your arms wherever feels comfortable for you. So it might be down by your side, maybe on your lap. Breath is quiet. Let your breath settle. Your belly is soft. And so from here, I know it's fall. However, I almost went for a swim in the ocean on the full moon. And if it wasn't so windy and I had a bathing suit, I might have, like I was so close to jumping in, but thankfully, you know, I remembered, oh, I don't want to freeze, essentially. So yoga swim, we can do that right here, right now, seated. And now, actually, I want you to imagine that your arms are like seaweed, and begin to move your arms in ways that you don't typically move. So sometimes it's repetitive patterns that we want to shift a bit. And so an invitation to reach up to the sky, if that works for you. So stretch into the stretch. Get bigger in space. We tend to shrink. So it can feel interesting to close our eyes as we're practicing these gentle movements. And now an invitation to bring your awareness to wherever your body is talking to you and send your breath there. So our prana, our life force. And then moving on to wherever you feel maybe there's not so much going on. Maybe it feels dark, not a lot of energy flowing through. Send all the more reason to send your breath there. And then slowly finishing up wherever your body is still talking to you. And then slowly coming back to stillness. Notice, how's your breath? Notice any subtle sensations. Can you name the sensation? Is it heat? Is it cool? Coolness? Maybe a hum you feel along your spine that you didn't feel earlier. Is it fatigue? And so moving on, little shake out again, wiggly fidgets. So let's repose. I apologize that there's not more that you can see of me in the viewfinder today, but even though it's supposed to be 20 degrees here on the Sunshine Coast, I think because the sun is further away and there isn't as much light. So I needed to move in closer so that you could see me. And so work in progress for sure. But I want to stay outdoors as long as possible. And I really encourage you to do the same through the winter and this transition period that we're going through into the next season. And so let's shake our hands. We can imagine we're waving to each other, waving to our ancestors, friends and family, all those that we want to send our love to. All right then. So I set my alarm for 50 minutes today, and it's not going to be alarming. It's just going to be a gentle sound that might sound like chimes, I hope, to remind me that this is a 50-minute hour, and so that we have time at the end of the class to hang out and for conversation. So let's repose. Ground through your feet, center and ground through the soles of your feet. Now we want to keep our connection with Mother Earth. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. Maybe notice where your bum and thighs are in contact with your seat. So if you'd like, you could pull the buttock flesh away from your sits bones. Belly is soft, spine is long, shoulders back and down. Lift up through the crown of the head. Imagine a thread on top of the head pulling you up to the sky. Our chin is tucked in slightly, level with the floor. Mountain pose. And so you can place your arms by your sides, spiral your palms open, take your hands to your heart center, reach up to the sky, gentle back arch, so bend from the shoulders. If it doesn't create tension in your neck, take a look between your hands, notice if your hands are facing each other, then return your gaze on the horizon. Mountain pose. And release. So in yoga, we stay in poses or we flow in and out of the poses. So let's come into mountain pose. Take your hands to your heart center. Palms open or palms together, up to you. Reach up to the sky, gentle back arch. Hinging from the hips, come forward. Take hold of the underside of your chair. Have whatever you need to stay stable in your chair. Come into a forward bend, so with a flat back. Lead with the heart, not the head. Tuck your chin in slightly. And then pressing down through actually, first of all, place your forearms on your lap. That's possible for you. So we're going to come into a version of downward facing dog, modified. And so tuck your chin in slightly, push down through your inner heels. And baby cobra, place your hands on your thighs, draw your elbows in towards your torso. Lift up through the crown of your head. Lift your heart. And then on exhale, cat and cow. So slide your hands towards your knees, round your back. As you round your back, draw your belly in towards your spine. So if you have a Buddha belly, or I have a Buddha belly, we all have one, but I met a Buddha friend, buddy, they can place their hand gently on your belly if that feels comfortable for you to help drawing your belly in. And then on inhale, let's do one more cat and cow. Arch, lift your heart, lift your throat. On exhale, round your back. As you round your back, slide your hands towards your knees. That'll help increase your proprioceptive awareness. Inhale, arch. Let's do this one more time. Lift your heart, lift your throat. Again, careful not to throw your head back. On exhale, round your back. As you round your back, draw your belly in towards your spine, chin in. Moving with your breath, come back to neutral spine. And so let's come into a modified version of downward or warrior one, pardon me. So if possible, you need to be fairly forward in your chair to do the actual physical movement of this. And so take your foot just under the front of your chair, tuck your toes under. So again, maybe you're visualizing the movement. Remember, an invitation to remember that energy flows where our breath and so on goes. Add the arm. So today I'm exploring something a little different than I've taught before. I'd like you to bring the arm on the same side, reaching up. So warrior one. So it might be elbow bent, palm facing forward. Maybe it feels good to reach up to the sky. Warrior one. Float your arm down. Step your foot forward. Hinging from the hips, spiral your palms open. Soft, bend in your elbows, reach up to the sky. Maybe our hands come together in prayer down through to the heart. So bowing our head towards our heart gives us a little nerve flossing for our neck. And so let's practice one more round. Mountain pose. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up to the sky, gentle back arch. Hinging from the hips, forward fold. Take hold of the underside of your chair wherever you need to feel stable and balanced. Tuck your chin in slightly. Baby cobra, pardon me. Downward facing dog. So for this version, I'll give you an alternative. So you can do what we did before with the forearms resting on your thighs. Or if you'd like, you could explore reaching your arms up. So the hands reach on the diagonal, maybe where the ceiling meets the wall. Cat or baby cobra now. Hands on your thighs, draw your elbows in to your torso, lift your heart. Lift up through the crown of your head. Cat and cow, sliding your hands towards your knees, round your back, navel in towards your spine. Chin in. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Moving with your breath, come back to a neutral spine. As ready if you'd like, and it's available to you. And from my perspective, it is always available. It might not be the gross physical movement, but micro movements, visualizing, focusing on what we can do. Warrior one on the other side. Step your foot underneath the front of your chair, toes tucked under. Always take the time to move slowly between your poses and your movements. You can add the arm if you'd like. Warrior one. And release. Arm comes down, Step your foot forward, hinging from the hips. Spiral your palms open, reaching up to the sky. And maybe our hands come together in prayer down through to the heart. So place one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center. And take a moment to feel the rise and fall for your chest and your belly. And we'll shake out, so moving on. All right, so repose, make sure you're sitting comfortably, but still up nice and tall. Push down through one foot, push down through the other foot. Might notice, maybe notice if you feel one foot more than the other. And so from here, we're going to come into a side bend. So the movements of the spine. And so take hold of the underside of your chair, release your opposite arm by your side. Spiral your palm open. And so again, a couple variations. So if you have shoulder discomfort going on, pain, might be that you take your hand up to your shoulder. That's the placement for your arm and your hand. Alternatively, it might feel okay to reach up and over. So if you're reaching up and over, see if you can resist collapsing forward. So roll that shoulder back and then come up and over. So you're holding the underside of your chair. So today I'm going to choose to place my hand on my shoulder and we'll begin again. So let's come into it one more time. So begin by taking hold of the underside of your chair. Release your opposite arm by your side. Spiral your palm open. Take your hand up to your place. Come into your side bend. And then an invitation to gently turn your gaze down towards the earth, the floor, and to breathe into your rib cage. Can you imagine breathing in below your rib cage? And then slowly come out of the pose on this side. Take a moment. Notice if you feel, is there a difference now? Maybe subtle. And so let's come into it on the other side. So take hold of the underside of your chair, release your opposite arm by your side, spiral your palm open, take your arm up to your place, come into your side bend. Keep your sits bones on the chair and then turn your gaze down towards the earth, the floor. If that feels okay for you, to release your neck. So can you feel that you're creating space in your rib cage? And slowly come out of the pose on this side. And we'll shift that again. So I'd like to come into a gentle twist. And so hands on your thighs, gently twist from side to side. See if you can create a little Buddha smile, a little half smile. And so smiles are contagious. I've noticed. But also it creates saliva. So we want a nice juicy mouth and juicy body. We've all been to the dentist. And then when you're ready, come on back to a neutral spine. And then let's rock and roll. So reach up to the sky or keeping your arms lower if you'd like. And then twist to the side. So in your own time and rhythm. And so make sure you come into the twist on your exhale. So rock and roll. And then finish up the movement that you're on. Come on back to a neutral spine. Relax your arms by your side or wherever it feels most comfortable for you. And then take a rest. So soft Buddha belly, quiet breath. And so side bends, twists, pretty intense spinal movements. So we need to realign our spine, and we can do that with a seated forward fold. And so the forward bend that I'm going to share with you today, we're going to come forward just about 20% and holding the underside of your chair for stability. Make sure you have whatever device you need, yoga toy, to keep you stable in your chair. And so let's begin by inhale, lengthen your spine so we can create space in our vertebrae. Holding the underside of your chair, hinging from the hips. Come forward. Tuck your chin in slightly, release the back of your neck. So you might even nod yes and no. And then breathe into your lower back. And so, alternatively, if you want, you can place something along your yoga buddy or belly, Buddha belly. Right. Lovely yoga mat, and it's multi uses. So breathe into your lower back. You might imagine that your lungs are in your lower back. So of course we can't place our lungs in our lower back. However, energy flows, breath, imagination goes. And then slowly come out of the forward bend by pushing down through one inner heel and the other. So it might be an energetic pushing down. Place one hand on near thigh, come on back. So come on, seated comfortably back in your chair in preparation for guided pranayama. So pranayama means that we can use our breath consciously to energize or to calm. And because we're coming down off the mountain, we want to get to a place where we're calming, more calming. And so the dessert part, my favorite part. So come on, seated comfortably back in your chair. Make sure you have what you need to stay warm. I like a little bit of weight, so I have one of my favorite little pillows with little beanies in it. And I'm going to place this yoga mat along my spine. And so whatever you need to facilitate sitting up comfortably. And the practice I'd like to share with you today is Brahmari, so bumblebee breath. And so essentially we'll be making a humming sound. And it's really not meant to be a big sound projected outwards. It's more of maybe notice if you feel a vibration in your body and in the beautiful space around you. And so the inhales through the nose unless you're congested. And then the exhale, it's like you're making the sound of the letter M if you'd like, if that works for you. And so I think I'm probably barely audible. I don't have my microphone today, but yeah, humming sound, bumblebee breath. And so when you're ready in your own time and rhythm, and you can close your eyes softly if you'd like, or soften your gaze. So just for a few breaths. So we inhale through the nose. Exhale. And so allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. And maybe noticing if you felt a subtle shift in your energy. And then come on back, seated comfortably for your final relaxation. And so, whatever you need to feel comfortable, if you have a super duper chair and you can recline in your chair, go for it. Making sure your head and neck is supported. If you're in a an armless chair, you might want to place it against a wall and maybe yoga mat rolled up along your spine. And if you place it up, the rolled yoga mat up a little higher, maybe rest your head back or put a little pillow there. As long as the body, as long as you are comfortable, go for it. It might be a blanket. And so roll your shoulders on, adjust your lighting if you'd like. You can turn your lighting down. And so we have 2 minutes. So intention is everything, more important than yeah. Anyway, I don't want to be a talking head. So here we go. So shoulders back and down a few times. So not scrunching our shoulder blades together, but allowing our shoulders to soften away from our ears. Eyes are closed softly, focused inward, or soften your gaze. Soft palms. So palm up or down as desired. Soft Buddha belly, the area between our navel and our pubic bone. Quiet breath. Allow your breath to reflect the pose. Relax your jaw. Unclench your teeth. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. Soften around your temples. Soften the area between your eyebrows, a wide forehead. Silently, if you'd like, on inhale, saying let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. If you'd like, you could, whatever word you'd like, you could inhale peace, exhale love. If it's challenging, quiet the mind, placing our hands on our Buddha belly and bringing our awareness to our breath can be helpful. So without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. Thank your body. Thank your body again. So to quote Matthew Sanford, our bodies are the best home our mind will ever have. And so see if you can begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Wiggle the fingers and toes, hands and feet, waking up. Rub the tips of your fingers with your thumbs if you'd like, and come on up to finish your yoga practice. So thank you. questions or feedback, always love to hear from you. So feel free to hang out for a little while afterwards. Thank you, Kausar, my tech host, Connectra and the Disability Foundation for providing this lovely opportunity for us to, hey, do yoga together. And so hope you all had a lovely Thanksgiving weekend and looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you.
Bobbie, I have a question.
Sure.
So I'm a leg amputee, and so balance is always a factor for me. I'm very asymmetrical in my chair and how I move, and like I tend to propel myself quite frequently with the leg that I have left. So I'm not centered over my center. How do you compensate for that when you're actually doing these practices to not strain areas? Because there's no balance, right? I struggle with balance quite a bit. So I wonder.
Okay. I'll just speak to it just a little, if that's okay, to
Sure.
start with. And I'm a turtle, so I like to really be thoughtful about how I respond to questions. And this is a really great question, very important. And so what's coming to mind, and if Fred read and it speaks to, I'm sure, you know, others have concerns in the same way. I think about the practice at the beginning of the class, centering.
Mhm.
And so we are body, mind, and spirit. And, you know, from a yoga perspective, we have the koshas. So we're, which is a whole kind of topic unto itself, but yeah, utilizing the tools of yoga that include, you know, visualization, meditation, breath. So when we link our breath with our movements, magical things happen. And of course, I know it starts with the physical body, and we need to feel safe before we can kind of move, color outside the lines a bit. And so that's one of the reasons, Sheila, I don't know if you're hearing me, but I can see you trying to understand what I'm saying to get what I'm saying. So repetition is a good thing. And so kind of moving towards our 100%, but backing off to 80. And then, you know, the next time we come into it, you might feel that, oh, the body, the nervous system, because we're not just our nervous system or our limbs, or, you know what I mean? We're a whole person, body, mind, and spirit.
Yeah.
So the time it's like, oh, gee, my brain got that it's safe for me to go a little deeper. And so you might move into a pose a little more. I'm happy to send you information if you want. I would not hesitate to use some of the lovely, I'll refer to them as yoga props, just so, for clarity's sake. I like to call them yoga toys to help keep you balanced in your chair. And so it might be a chair beside you.
I got a bolster recently that I used to support my spine today, which I felt was really helpful to sit forward, because in previous classes, when you said sit forward, it's hard to do that because the way the seating is, it kind of tilts you back into. So I found that was really helpful today. So that was, and it also helped stabilize me quite a bit.
Awesome. Yeah, and I have an aversion to the word strap. triggering for me. So the classes are trauma sensitive, and of course that's, we teach what we need to learn often. And
Yeah.
so teacher in each of you. But so a yoga prop or a tie, whatever,
Mhm.
with a block, maybe. So these lovely yoga blocks placed
Yeah.
by, and then I don't know where exactly,
Yeah.
from what range you are an amputee in terms of.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you would probably, if this is useful, and so you can have a bolster, a rolled mat, something, whatever works, could be thicker or thinner, but I just want to bring the iPad down so you can see what
Mhm.
so I would put something here. So you're sitting forward in the chair, you have the lovely support of the bolster, and then so we're at home. We don't need a lot of fancy props, right? So
Yeah.
and of course, whether it's a yoga strap, or I know some of you have like Marty, you have what are they called? Care bands. So the thing is, you want to be tuned in enough to your body that if you're to place something here, whether it's this width, where we all have the same hip distance, so it might be this width, whatever it is, or it could be a bolster,
Mhm.
a smaller bolster, they make them, or you can makeshift a smaller bolster to put between, but use something to keep it in place.
Mhm.
But the thing is, you need to make sure that you're not cutting off your circulation.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I know. So one of the ways you can tell is that if your legs are changing color,
Oh yeah.
that's indication.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit challenging. That's one of the challenges of not being in the same space and place. And,
Yeah.
one of the reasons I'm a yoga therapist is that I can do a lot of, one-to-one, and I
Mhm.
teach small groups generally. And
Mhm.
but we're in a new world now, and I want to be out there.
Mhm.
And so I hope that was helpful, and we'll have an ongoing conversation.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Was that helpful at all?
I think so. Yeah. It's just I have to just focus on not
It's a lot of,
hanging out in my strong zone, because it ends up I end up doing damage by centering myself over one side,
right.
because that's my strong side, right? So I have to be really careful with that. So yeah.
I hear you, Left.
I think
What
Marty,
level is your amputation?
I'm pretty high above knee, right
Above
above
knee?
knee. Yeah.
Have you had any, like an OT look at your seating at all?
Yeah, yeah, I've been through the
Yeah.
system. All the way through.
Uh-oh. Froze up.
Mine froze up too.
Sorry, we missed that. What did you say? You froze up?
Yeah, it froze. Can anyone hear Bobbie?
I
Not saying anything.
Oh, hi. Okay.
Yeah. So we missed what you said last. Can you repeat that?
Morning Star.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't hear what you said because your image.
Oh, I cut out. Okay. Oh, I was just saying that I've been through all kinds of seating,